Mhm.
Our next red wine is going to be the Balance of Powers California Red Blend. This is definitely one of my favorites. I love all of our wines. We're very fortunate to have so many wonderful wines that we get to taste through and talk about regularly. This is Zinfandel based. It is vast majority Zinfandel, and red Zins are always very powerful. This is something that California does so well. It's one of my favorite varietals that is popular in California, always just really velvety, very powerful. I mean, these go into the tank. And when we say that, that means before they're crushed, like when we pick them, very, very high levels of sugar in this grape. That sugar turns into alcohol. So you will have a hard time finding a Zen or a Zen based wine that is less than 14% alcohol. It really, it's a boozy wine. They're always very powerful. I call this a hug in a glass. This is my favorite cold weather wine. This is so smooth and velvety, and it's a lot of cooked fruit. So if you think of jamminess, if you just think of jam, blackberry jam and blueberry jam, it's super jammy on the nose. A lot of Christmas spices, cinnamon and cloves. It kind of might remind you of mulled wine. It definitely is one of those wines that, fire pit wine, as you said.
Exactly. Parent
Oh,
experience. Totally.
what do you smell in this one?
My first thought, like I smelled blueberry, obviously, but I first thought blueberry panna cotta, that cooked cream. That's what I want to eat with it. I know that it's a dessert and it's not supposed to go with a dry red wine, but that's the first thing I thought. Just because I love blueberry compote. I love a nice, jammy, cooked, stewed fruit tone, and that's exactly
Mhm.
what's going on with this wine. So yeah, I get the total blueberry tones, but I can also smell a little bit of earthiness, and that's going to come from its oak influence. So yeah, it sees its time in its tank, but then we throw it in some French oak, and it absolutely just melds so well to the Zinfandel and that small bit of Syrah that's leaning
Yeah,
into this as well, into that blend.
that's definitely giving you a little bit of the earthiness, helping to fill it out a little more.
Well,
And
make it well rounded.
exactly, it is. And I like that we call this a blend rather than a Zinfandel, just because blends get a bad rap. And a lot of times it's easy to think, oh, it's a red blend or it's a California blend, it's throwaway wine. First of all, we don't throw away wine. That's not a thing. Second of all, some of our best wines, some of our most highly revered wines are blends. Blending is really a way, I think, for a winemaker to show off their skills and their talents, because this is a way for winemakers to really showcase some of the best characteristics of grape varietals. And so, if you have different grape varietals and you can show off the jamminess and you can show off some pepperiness and you can show off some like tobacco notes and all of these things. And at the end of the day, you get this really beautiful blend that it's going to have a nice long finish. It may be very age worthy, all of these really great things. So the next time you're in the wine store or in the supermarket, you don't want to look down on your blends. We want to try them. And I love this. Like I said, hug in a glass.
It is a hug in the glass. It really is. It feels so good right here. It's the way you want to feel when you're drinking your red wine. This is sit down with your nice home cooked meal on the couch. This is your, like, it's comfort. This is exactly what I want from a red wine. Not being a big red wine drinker, I really, really like how smooth it is. I really am appreciative of that medium body without it being so overwhelming. And again, like that sense of like we get this idea of red blends, but I think that it's the best way to showcase what those grapes and what that winemaker is capable of. It's a little bit more magic. It's a little bit more involved, right? You really have to know what your harvest and what your yield is going to taste like, and then be able to have this like forethought of what is it going to end up being like when I'm done? And it takes so much skill and it takes so much ability. And I think that, Matt really did a great job. And just one thing I want to mention with these adorable bottles of wine with our balance of powers, like, you can do so many cool things with them. They are utilized in so many different ways. We put our amazing, delicious wine in it, but you can feel free to put whatever you'd like into these bottles. Please feel free to reduce, reuse, and recycle all of them, because that's what we want you to do with them. Matt would be thrilled. We'd all be thrilled. But once you've gotten the chance to try these incredible wines, feel free to go back out there, showcase them. We'd love to see you showcasing them. Show them on Instagram. But yeah, that's the beauty of all of it, is it starts to just it
I
goes
make
back
salad
into all of it.
dressings and put my
Sorry.
salad dressings in them. They're perfect for
Exactly.
that.